Hi everybody, this is Clarine from In Reenie's room, and today we're going to make a tunnel card. Now I originally got the idea, or was actually inspired to make my own, from watching the Paper Pixie, and fell in love with these little cards. Just like a tunnel, you look through, you can see how it changes depending on which way you're looking. There's the sides, there's the back. And of course this is a Valentine one. Today we're going to be making a birthday one, but everything is done the same way. So let me switch to this little card for you. If you want to jot down what your measurements are going to be and what you're going to need. And I used just one of the 8.5 by 11 sheets of cardstock, and it gets everything out of there. Okay. So you can jot that down. Now what I did was I made up my template, and I've used the Lori Fresnel designs. She's an Etsy designer, and these are her flowers and little hats and stuff. I did the happy birthday part, and then everything else is hers. I fussy cut everything. And this part up here, you cut out the whole square, not just the cupcake, unless you, this one we'll put on the back. But those are the designs that I used. Okay, so what we're going to do is take a piece of cardstock. It's going to be 4.5 by 11. Put it in your scoreboard, and we're going to score at 4.25, 5.25, 9.5, and 10.5. And then you'll fold, kind of burnish those a little bit, like that. And then you're going to cut 2 more pieces out of the same cardstock, and these are 4.25 by 5. And then you'll put them in the scoreboard and score at 4 5/8 on each side. You'll score there, turn it over, and score there. And you're going to do 2 of those. These are the 2 inside pages. There's one, and here's the other one. Okay, now, if you remember on that sheet, I had a 4 by 4 piece of patterned paper. This is going to be for the front part of the card, which is this one, keeping the little 3/8 inch over here on your right. This is going to form your card. So this is the front, this is the back. So I'm going to cut these out of the Big Shot at the same time. So I'm going to center this in the middle of that front page. And then to hold it in place as I run it through the Big Shot, I'm using these little Post-it pieces of tape. And these are reusable things that you can use over and over. That's just this little Post-it tape holder. Now for the circles, I use the Sizzix dies. This is number 657551. And what I did was I took the biggest one that I thought would fit on the cover, and that's the one I chose out of the set. And then I would skip one of the dies, and I chose the next one down, skipped a die, and chose the third one down. So that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to center this on the front. Hold that down in place. And I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. Okay. Put it back down here. And take off all these little pieces of tape. pressed hard enough on that to get it to stay. There we go. And save these because we're going to use them again. And that's getting a little messy here. Come on, get off there. And then just putting the circles to the side. I didn't do anything with them, but sometimes those extra little pieces come in handy. You want to make a little card or some kind of accent piece. And this piece of tape, oh come on, doesn't want to come off. There we go. Gotta be careful because I don't want to rip off the pattern. So that's just going to get glued on the front. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Making sure that you get glue in your corners. And the advantage of using glue is that you can kind of have a little bit of wiggle room so that you can make sure you get it centered correctly. So I'm going to put this in the center of my front piece. Makes it a little bit easier with this because I have to make sure it goes on that circle as well. That's why we cut the both of them out at the same time. Okay, I'll put that up here. Great. All right. Now what we're going to do, keeping this smaller side on the right as you're working, this is of course the back. And with my Valentine card, I made it with white cardstock, so I didn't have to do a back page. But I'm going to go ahead and put a back page on here, just so I know front from back as we're progressing along. And this is just a 4x4 piece of paper. Put some glue on here. And I'll center that on the back piece. That way we can add a sentiment. I made a bigger cupcake that I fussy cut out, and I'm going to be putting that back here too. All right, so see what we're starting to form here is our card. Now we're going to cut out the 2 pages. Now to do these, you're going to line up these on the front 2 score lines with these 2 score lines, right like that, and then lay them down. Just lay it nice and flat, hold it in place. Then you're going to take that second ring, and that goes right in the middle, and just center it. And while you hold that down, I'm going to add those little pieces of Post-it to hold it in place. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that because I don't want it to shift, because I have to move this front page out of the way. All right, so I got that down. I'll pull the front page up. Let me run this through my Big Shot. There we go. And it's coming off a little bit easier, being nicer to me. There we go. Pull that off. Then we're going to cut the third one. We're going to do the same thing that we did in the front, but we're going to line this up with your middle section that you already did. See how I'm lining up those 2 edges on both sides? Line them up. Lay it down. Put in the smaller circle this time. And just center it. If you don't get exact, it's not going to be horrible, but you do want to get as close to it as you can. Hold it down, put a lot of pressure on that as you put your little Post-it on there, because you don't want that to move. Then you take this other page and clear it out of the way. You can hold that down, and I'm going to run it through my Big Shot. Okay. And I'll just take all this off. And that's all we need to form the tunnel. So I'll put that in there. So here is your two center pieces. And there's your front. And remember, this is your back. So as you're going through this, every once in a while, kind of just hold things together to look at them and see that they're all lining up properly. So I'm going to take this tinier circle, that's the one that's in the far back, and I'm going to attach something to be my focal point. And I think I'm going to, well, maybe I'll do that afterwards. No, I'll do it now. Okay. Sorry about that. Scissors were across the way. I forgot to cut out the little cupcake up here, which is my focal point on the back page. So I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to put it on the smaller circle, like that. See how that goes in the center? So I'm going to put some glue around the edges. Not in real far, because I don't want to go to where the circle is. I just want it to stay in that back side. I want that to be in the middle. That looks pretty good. There we go. Okay, so that's our back page. Now we're going to attach these onto the card. So keeping the smaller edge here on your right, we're going to glue the back one first, and it's going to go right up against this back score line. It's going to fit right like that. See how this edge goes onto that score line. So I'm going to put my glue along here, making sure you got your cupcake upside right, or whatever you pick to put back there. And I'm going to lay this down here and line this edge up with that fold. I want to go right up next to the fold, but I want to make sure that it also bends, and it does. So I'm going to push this down a little bit. There we go. Put that in there. Just crease that forward, get a little more fold there. Okay, now your second one is going to go right in here. This edge right up against that fold. No space. You want it to be nice and snug and tight. So I'll fold that down. Put my glue on this side. And I'm going to lay it down here and bring this edge right up to that fold. No space at all. I want it nice as snug as I can get it without covering on the outside, so don't do that. All right, so I'll push that in there real close. There we go. Then I'll fold it over. Give it another little crease here. To get some glue, just take it off because you know it always dries clear. Okay, see how that's starting to form? You've got your front, your sides, and then there's your back. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay this down, get your front out of the way, fold it nice and flat. You see these two little edges that you had formed, not the back one, just these two, the first two. They just lay down nice and flat. That's where you're going to put your glue, right on them. Now take care that you stay inside their boundaries. There we go. And then this is really slick. I thought this was really clever. All you do is press those down, bring your front over where it creases on its own, all the way over, lining up the edges, which it does by itself, and then just press it down. Go back and forth a few times just to make the glue stick. Then you pick it up, and there you have your sides. There's your middles. Isn't that great? And then there's your front. Keeping in mind, there's your back. Okay, now to finish it off, whoops. Try to get that time to dry. Let me give that another little minute here. It's starting to come up. I probably could have put a little more glue on maybe. There we go. Because these fold back and forth both ways. That's what makes this card flexible, and you can just slide it into an envelope when you're done. But let's see, what did I do that isn't doing that? I didn't put enough glue on that first one, so I've got to re-glue this because it's not holding. Got too conservative with my glue. There we go. So that was that original page. I didn't get enough glue on there. Okay, there we go. Now let's hope he sticks this time. All right. Then we're going to complete the card by folding this a little bit. And you're going to put your glue on the inside of it because it's going to go like this. Oops, I'm sorry, like that. So you put your glue on this side and then it'll just lay on like that. This might be one of those do as I say, not as I do moments, but that's the fun of crafting, huh? All right. So I'm going to bring this over and line it up with that edge, right like that. And then I'll just bend it down flat. Put some pressure on there. I might be moving too quickly and not giving my glue time to dry, so slow down when you're doing your own. There we go. Here's your back, and there's your front, and here's your insides that form your tunnel. Now we're ready to decorate it. So like I said, I cut out all of my little ephemera pieces that were on that sheet, and I have those over here. And I'm going to attach most of them with pop-up dots. Not all of them, but most of them. And I think I'll start by putting my balloons over here. So when you do this, you want to make sure that the pop dots that you put on are on this side, because that's where it's going to be sticking on this first page. So be aware of which page, which level you're working on. So I'm going to put my dots on that side. There we go. And then kind of make sure before you undo it. And I'm going to put one more down here just under the bow. I think that'll hold the bottom in place. And I'm going to put that right over here. Now, if you're going to be putting this in an envelope, be aware of your edges, because this is going to lay flat in either direction. So wherever you want to stay within these outside perimeters. Now I will be nailing this one, so I'm going to make sure that I keep everything inside of this area here so that I can fold it up and put it in. And I'm going to put a little happy birthday across here. And I'll use pop-ups for that as well. I think I'll use a little bit bigger. I'll put about 5 of them on there. Now I do have a scan and cut, so sometimes I will cut out those sheets that I make that have the ephemera on them. But in this case, I had plenty of time, and I only did less than 20 or 25, so it's just as easy to go ahead and cut them out. Besides, I always like to fussy cut. But if I'm making a whole bunch of kits, it's just not practical. Okay, so again, watching those perimeters. I'm going to bring this over here and kind of put it at a little slant. Yeah, get in there. There we go. And put it on that page. Okay, and then I've got some packages. So I think I'll do a couple flowers first. I want to take care of that corner. Put that on. And a pop-up. And you can get your hands in there and work, and your fingers and get between those spaces, okay. And then I'll put some leaves with that. You almost have to fit everything so that you know where to put that pop-up dot. And you know what? I'm going to glue that. I think that's going to lay flat on that top. So I'm just putting the glue around this edge here. And I'm just sliding it in underneath. And you see how I went over my border here? That's okay, because when I put it in the envelope, this is my border and this is. So I can go out a little bit and still have like a little more dimension to my flower by having that on there. Let me glue another one on the other side. And just bring it in there. There we go. And this is the fun part, because you just get to put everything where you want it to go. There's no right or wrong. And you want to put them inside those other layers too. So this package, I'm not going to put on the top. I'm going to put it on the second layer. Right in like that. So my pop dot has to go in the bottom. here. I think I can just fold it and that'll hold it down into space. You can also come from the bottom to press down and get that to, oh, I'm on the wrong space. There we go, gotta come this way. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna put happy birthday on the sides. So here are my there's my birthday. And here's my happy. And I'll use little pop-ups for that. Come over here and work. So I'll put happy over here. Whoops. Yeah. And I'm just centering it. Just like that. And I'm going to put birthday on the other side. Peel off those little guys. This is a fun little project, but it gets a little messy because you got all these little parts and pieces floating around on your desk. And then I'll pull this over, center it in the middle. See how that's starting to take shape? And then I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the back just because I got it in front of me. I had made an extra big cupcake because I wanted to put it on the sentiment part. So I'm just going to put that right here. There we go. That's the back. There's the front. And I'm going to put some more little packages on there. I'm going to put that down here on the other layer. Just put it at an angle. And that's kind of all that you do, is just go back and forth, put them on the different layers. And see how they just start to dance around those circles? I need something up in the corner though, so I think I'll put another flower. This one I'm going to glue on because I'm going to slide it in right on this second layer here. Get it off my thumb. And slide it in right like that. So it can lay flat. And that kind of adds to the flowers. And then that's all there is to it. The rest of it is just you putting everything where you want it to be, and remembering that it does fold, so it just goes right into your envelope and off it goes. And there you have it, a happy birthday tunnel card. Thanks for coming by today.